are you today? Hope everybody is having a great start to their day. I'm about to read a story that always connected very well with me when I was little. One of my most favorite things as a little girl was to go out and get new stuffed animals. I had the biggest stuffed animal collection, a lot of which I still have. I still cannot part with some of these stuffed animals that I collected as a little girl. So I just always loved this book because I could really relate to this little girl going out and getting her eyes set on this most perfect stuffed animal and being like, what do I need to do to make this thing mine? So we are reading Corduroy today, and I just always loved this book. I thought he was always the cutest little bear, and how if I had ever seen him when I was little, I would have been just like the character in our story, and I would have wanted him to be mine. So let's get started. This is Corduroy by Freeman. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. Because those stuffed animals, they just want somebody to take them home. That's all they want. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much money already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." So can we see that he's missing a little button? I still think he's pretty cute without his button. Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." So he's going on a mission to find his missing button. Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. He's in a big department store. I think that search is going to take a little while. He's probably like, where do I even begin looking? Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain? He wondered. I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He's just so cute. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was a most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. This must be a palace. Corduroy gasped. I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. All that great big furniture. He looks so small compared to all that. He wandered around admiring the furniture. This must be a bed, he said. I've always wanted to sleep in a bed. And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round. What does he think that is? "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button and off the mattress. Corduroy toppled. He was pulling so hard he just flew backwards. Bang! Into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. And he's rubbing his head. I think he had bumped his head. It's a good thing teddy bears' heads are filled with stuffing, so maybe it didn't hurt so bad. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." So he saw that knocked over lamp. He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all, and there he saw 2 fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the covers. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" His little ears popping out. The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. So he's back on his shelf. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "Yay!" "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." I told you, she got one look at this bear and was like, he needs to be mine. Very determined little girl. "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the saleslady asked. "Oh, no thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Who else is like that when you buy a special new toy? You don't want a bag. You just want to carry it out yourself. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest and drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know, I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "Oh, I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." I love how she said that. I like you the way you are, but this will make you a little more comfortable. I love that. "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. Oh, I love this story so much. So sweet. You know, we all have little things about ourselves that we might think make us a little imperfect, a little different. But just like Corduroy, if we just stay who we are, stay true to who we are, stay in our comfort kind of areas, don't change ourselves, someone will come along and be accepting and in love with everything about ourselves, all the things that we thought were maybe not so good, but ended up being just something that made us special. Lisa didn't look at him and say, oh, you don't have this button, so I don't like you as much. You're not perfect. She looked at him and saw this as, she looked past the missing button. So if you have something about yourself that you're not sure, like, someone might not like me because of this, be patient. The right people that you should have in your life are going to like you no matter what you have missing or what you have going on for you. The right people always find their way into our lives and are our friends no matter what. So I hope you loved this book with me today, and friends, have a great rest of your day. I'm so excited already for our next story time. I love these story times, and I will see you later. Bye, friends.